All right. The Neverending Story. Came out in 1984, rated PG. It's an hour and 42 minutes. If you don't know what this film is about, then I don't even know what to really tell you, because this film is one of the, I guess, one of the core memories for a lot of kids that grew up in the 80s, because you had Falcor, which is that lovely flying, I think, dragon behind me. You have Noah Hathaway, who plays um, Atreyu, and you have Barrett Oliver, who plays Bastion. So the whole film is centered around Bastion and Atreyu, who Bastion is a kid who loves to live in the fantasy world. He loves to learn about stuff, and he gets made fun of a lot for that. Up until that one day when he ends up going into that random bookstore, and he ends up stealing this book, and it ends up being the Neverending Story. So as the film progresses, Bastion doesn't realize that he's part of the story. And we're seeing firsthand what Atreyu is dealing with, trying to save his land. And I feel like this film was so influential in the 80s because of what it taught me. With everything going on with the technology and us not using our brains to the extent that we could, we're all look at me. I'm talking to a million people in theory when I could be reading a book. It kind of taught me that, we have to continue to use our imagination or we'll never evolve. We'll never, I guess, change the world that we live in if we don't use our brains. And this film clearly states that, because it will show you little characters and stuff that only kids could really think about. And it's absolutely astounding. Now, IMDb gave it a 7.3 out of 10. I agree with that 110%. Like I said, the film is a classic. It is one of those films that it's kind of dry nowadays, but in the 80s, I guarantee it was, it was the king of it. Now, also remember, if you end up watching this, that a lot of films in the 80s were weird as fuck. So just keep that in mind. Don't shut it off because it looks weird. But that's what the 80s are for. They use their imagination. They really don't do that now. Sadly, there is no way to watch it. But if you've watched it before, let me know what you think. And as always, see you guys next week.